NFT for $69 million for the first kind of auction Octis by Jacob Kasnagers. Until October, a monument, the digital artist known as People, has ever sold print for $100. Today, NFT as work sold for $69 million at Christmas. The sale positions among the top 3 most valuable living artists, according to the auction house. Around the NFT sale comes after months of increasing demand. Bangkok Super One common sold for series NFT at $6.6 each. In December, $3.5 million total. And last month, one of the NFT that originally sold for $660.60 was resold for $6 million. NFTs are now fungible tokens, a unique cloud that live on a blockchain, able to verify ownership of digital art. While its privilege and limited rights to display it represents the many ways an asset may be able to resell. The technology has absolutely exploded at the past few years. Anyone welcome to the rapid rise. This fair crystal intelligence versus stupidity. And stupidity. My argument is second I cannot do difference and that's how work over my life are betting on intelligence. Still, stupidity is coming on fast outside. Outside, when it is down, this that comes the future as fast. Hard and need to do for advantages over other humans. Dear Joe, happy birthday. You are 6 years old. It's hard to believe that it's already been 6 years since we welcomed you. You brought my mother more joy than we ever imagined. Over the past year, you grown up so much. You know more and more English words and Chinese characters, and you are able to use numbers in fun and exciting ways. Also taught your brother so much and even made videos to teach kids online. The past year has been challenging for the world and for our family. Along with the challenge, we are able to lots of time with you and we will be grateful for the rest of our life that has spent together. You listen to story, play games, and run back for down the thousands of times. Turning 6 means starting first grade this fall and waking excited of new ventures. My hope for you is that enjoy your last few months crystal with friends and teachers, and you are welcome to new ventures challenges and moving to a new school or brain. Your mother and I always will support you on the way. Thanks for sharing your smile, love, and imagination with your mom. And I love you so much. Love, Dad. What's the difference between the like, love, and in love? By Derek Service. What's the difference between like, love, and in love? How do you know when you love someone instead of just liking them love? How do you know when you're in love with someone instead of just loving them with a person? I asked a bunch of friends this question. I got a huge variety of answers. If I like anything about someone, I like them. If I like everything about someone, I love them. If I like everything about someone and we have great sex, I'm in love. Like is liking someone but conditionally. Love is liking someone unconditionally. In love is just a glorification of a temporary infatuation. Eventually it becomes love. This sounds morbid, but I think of it in terms of how reactive they die. If I like someone died, I'd be sad, I'd cry once or twice. If I like someone they died, I'd be devastated, I'd cry for days and weeks. If I'm in love with someone who died, I want to die too. How do you know? Do other languages a different term for love versus in love that make more poetic distinct? Two strings to our bow, except for Warren Buffett's 2022 Berkshire Hathaway shareholders. Charlie and I want alcohol all a part of a diverse group of businesses with good economic characteristics and good management. Control this business, however, is unimportant to us. It took me a while to wise up, but Charlie and also my 20-year struggle operation and having a Berkshire finally convinced me that only a non-controlling culture of wonderful business is more profitable, more enjoyable, and far less worth struggling 100% of margin enterprise. For those reasons, I have now remain the collection of controlled and non-controlled businesses. Charlie and I will simply deploy your capital into whatever region makes the most sense. Based on doable, competitive, capability and character to manage and price. When that strategy requires a little novel on our part, so much the better. In contrast to the scoring system, diving competition, your world no points in business drivers for the degree of difficulty. Caution. It's said that hard work never kill anyone, but I say, why take the chance? Harry, Meghan, and the pact between the royal and the press, but as a child, a year after the Duke's success, stepped back for the royal duty about life in the United Kingdom. Couple had an interview with the Open. The result of 2-hour television when Meghan Markle and her husband Harry chronicled the alienation they faced inside the British monarchy. Markle said that he reported the feeling that he didn't want to be alive and denied access to mental health care. She also denied racist behaviors within the royalist institution. During her first presidency, one royal family's concerns about what color her son's skin would be around same time Markle said. The family discussed changing a rule where their son would never become friends. The title would to secure the protection. The citizen for Buckingham said the royal family said hear the couple's difficulties and that issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. Incidents recall the earlier crisis for the monarchy. Diana, how her public his royal purity married Prince Charles. Unstuck, creating new path for yourself by Liu Babata. Sometimes we're stuck in life, doing the same things we're unhappy with over and over again. Maybe you're procrastinating on your meaningful work, getting stuck in decision or perfectionism. Maybe you're picking on exercise or meditation, getting your finances in good shape, or making some or changing law in your life. Get stuck. I'm a living testament to the truth that we can get unstuck. In my life, I've been stuck many times. It turns out that there's always a way through this darkness. It's not turning away from this darkness, but turning towards it, going through it, embracing the darkness, and letting the obstacle itself. I'm going to talk about a few principles getting unstuck and creating a new path for yourself. I then talk about recommendations for changing habits this year, or getting to doing a meaningful work. ways to get unstuck. There's no one way to do this, but I found some things are incredibly helpful. 1. Turn towards the difficult. If you've been avoiding thinking about difficult projects or your messy finances or messy clutter, or your exercise or diet or the health issue, not much will change until you turn towards it and face it. A willingness to turn towards the difficult and work with it, one of the important requirements to change. I wander lonely as a cloud, awaiting water. I wander lonely as a cloud that floats on high over fields and hills. Not once, a crowd, a host, golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, floating, dancing in the breeze. Continuous cycles that shine and trunk along Milky Way. They stretch the never-ending line along the margin of the lake. 10,000 stars glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them dance, but how deep the sparkling waves beneath. Could not but be gay in such a joker company. I gaze and gaze, but little thought was showed and brought. For often culture lie, in vacant or intensive mode, in flash upon an angered eye, which is the bliss of solitude, and my heart of the pleasure and dances with the daffodils. Aberdeen Foundation Statement on J. Morgan, June 13, 2020. J. Morgan, the founder of the Aberdeen College, is a vocal anti-abolitionist who held deeply flawed beliefs regarding race and slavery. The Aberdeen Foundation condemns those beliefs. We have long embraced the diversity and inclusion as core organizational values, and know that upholding these skills takes conscious and continuous work. Confronting more history is an important aspect of fight work. We regret not condemning more racist views earlier. We commit addressing this issue with transparency moving forward. I first evaluate how the best offer an honest and uncompromising portrayal of modern history and how intersects with that of Aberdeen holiday, Brexit, and Nebraska. In the past, we attribute this period of Aberdeen to modern, but truthfully, it belongs to the Nebraska who embraced the treaty for generations, and the people around the world who know that the greener world is healthier, more beautiful, and more equitable. By shedding light on learning from the past, we aim to build a legacy that proactive all values, inclusive all those contributed to the tree planting movement. Review of the UP documentaries by Roger Ebert. The UP documentary record. Every 7 years, the British director Michael Apted revisits a group of people whose lives had been chronicled since they were children. As a child, by having the going, to penetrate the central mystery of life, asking the same question of causes and words of desire. Why am I and why not you? Why am I and why not there? Inspired, even noble, use of the field meaning. The feeling and expression, the thought that runs from the word. Look this film as I have been every 7 years. The meditate on its astonishing fact. The man is the only animal that knows the legs in time. The child is the father of the man, also. That seems literally true at these fields. The 7-year-olds already reveal most of the elements good and bad that flower later on life. Sometimes they're surprising. A girl whose appetite and rose are completely vowing marriage blossoms in the little into a cheerful white mother. Group exercise may be even better for you than solo workouts. Here's why. By Alison Phillips and Jake Mark. Group exercise is very popular. Nearly 40% of regular exercisers participate in group fitness classes. Before the coronavirus pandemic, the American College of Sports Management will be one of the top 3 fitness industry trends in 2020. For good reason. Exercise has clear benefits for your health and well-being, and the side effects think lower blood, improved glycemic control, and sleep are overwhelmingly positive. And exercising groups may have particular beneficial effects. If you've been considering joining an online group class and encouraged by others, here's some research-based reasons that might be a great idea. Other people influence your attitudes and emotional response to their exercise. That is, they can affect how you feel about exercise, which is critical for determining whether you do or not. If you get to know others who exercise regularly, you start to perceive exercise as more positive, common, desirable, and doable. Even if you already decided that exercising is something you want to do and intend to do, there are different kinds of motivation that can determine whether you are successful. Beginning and maintaining exercise. Exercising with others can boost those motivations. Being appreciated as a creator by Steve Paulino. If you are a creative artist, how important is it for you to work appreciated by the people you serve? I see that it's pretty important to be appreciated as an artist. This isn't about making validation from other people. This is about serving people who will receive your work with gratitude. If you are appreciated, it's probably because you're providing something of value to people, something that resonates with them and they care about. You've earned about appreciation. I don't think this needs to be your main reason for creating art, but a healthy to incorporate big picture mindset of your life and an artist. When you create and share your art, you invite them to experience and appreciate what you're sharing. So can you allow them to appreciate it? Remember that you aren't creating for everyone. You're just creating for appreciating people. That one reason you worry about creators. If a creator shows up, don't appreciate your work, then clearly they're lost. The creators show up where they don't belong. So think not tomorrow or directly something they may actually appreciate. It may take some time to calibrate yourself to the right audience. If you want to take the investment, appreciate. If you aren't building audience, appreciate people, then you're building audience of unappreciated people. What sense is that?
在告那个，然后你现在问好了。
Barack Obama on the woman in style. What's the most badass name from Michelle Maria and Sasha? Barack Obama. He has multiple badass qualities. I think people know Michelle well now. Amazing she can be public speaker. They probably are less aware what it's like to work out with Michelle with the ring groove. And sometimes they introduce boxing, getting in the way when she's working on the back. You could let's pause there. Sasha is, as Maria describes, completely confident that her own take on the world is not cowed and intimidated, and never has been titles anybody's credentials. Say something's right or wrong, she will say so. When she was 4, 5, 6 years old, when she made a decision, she was digging and couldn't be still. I read in the book about how we were trying to get taste caviar while visiting Russia. She was like, no, sorry, that lemon is nasty. Not going even got to give up dessert. I'm not part of a character always being there. Maria, she is born. She's somebody who enjoys people, enjoys love, and enjoys conversation. Never bored with a badass quality that can take the place. La bella donna della mia mente. But ask well. My limbs are wasted with the play. My feet are sore with traveling, for calling on my lady's name. My lips have now forgot to sing. A linnet in the wild rose bush, string for my love and a melody. Or love sing louder for love's sake. My gentle lady passes by. She is too fair for any man to see or hold his heart delight. Fairer than queen or courtesan, or more linksword in the night. The rain leaves upon her golden hair. Green grasses through the yellow shades of the autumn corn are not more fair. Her lips, more made to kiss than the proud berry for pain, are tremulous and broke waters. A roses is after evening rain. Her neck is like one melon flashing together of the sun. The throbbing of the lemon rose is not so sweet to look upon as a pomegranate carving turns. White seed is on the mouth. Cheeks as the fading stain, where the peach rises to the south. Our tiny hands are delicate, white body meant for loving pain. Or desolate tear of love beat by the rain. How to design language tests for citizenship, and how not to. Perfect Swedish is overrated, but comprehensible Swedish is deeply underrated sense of precision. The leader of Sweden's center-right moderate party, with the support of language reform become a Swedish Caesar. The left is come around too. The Social Democrat-led government tried to introduce a language test. Sweden was adopted by leaders of the European countries that did not make passing such a test a condition of naturalization. To learn the language of the country you live in is the key to full life there. But many experts in language policy oppose testing for citizenship because they suspect a lesson impediment in some who propose it. The Danish citizen it is becomes worthy of, said in the Strasbourg in 2015, when the immigration Great Minister of the center-right government implied the unworthy of his sleeping rule. Time of large to go will not improve immigrant status, but naturalize a few of them. Learning the lesson, not the example, by direct service. Learning how to read metaphor argument was a major turning point in my life. When I was 19, attending Berklee College music, I had no interest in anything but music. Then a teacher made a sweet book, positioning, which is a straight about business book. I thought, business? Yeah, I'm a music school, not business school. I just want to be a musician, not a cult suit. Then show us how to apply that book's business lessons on music. Even though the book makes no mention of music, he told us to translate the example to whatever you're doing. Don't focus on the example itself. Use it as a metaphor and apply the lesson to my situation. It sounds obvious now, but never looked at it that way before. I realized that I could advance my music career by reading books and making no mention of the music. In fact, I have a competitive advantage by doing so, so most musicians won't. Now here I am, 20 years later. I read these articles to share lessons I've learned, but in comments I noticed that some people focus on a random example instead of the great lesson. Nobody else knows your exact situation, so learn to see past the example. Focus on the lesson and apply it to your own life. Think in metaphors. I got the COVID-19 vaccine and I feel guilty. By June Sharma. A pinch, a jab, and a push. Just like that, it was over. When I received my first dose of coronavirus vaccine, no count or reports. It came without any bit of the pomp and the ceremony that accompanied the early shots of politicians on television or read about in the news. After signing a stack of papers and flashing my hospital ID, I led into the antechamber with a security card appeared and through a small circular window. When it got open, and the shelf a slightly larger room with a single pillow at behind desk. She asked for those papers, my health card, for me to lower my mask to confirm my identity. Momentarily stunned, I had willfully shown my face to a stranger since I was in New York City last March. I had this weird feeling of being naked. She was unfazed. At a small cubicle, I watched the nurse's hands move with deft skill. The ball of cotton and the bandage let out. A swab saw alcohol and applied my shoulder. The wetness quickly disappearing into cool whip. Lastly, into a needle he drew up a fraction millimeter of clear, dancing liquid, flicked the bubble well from his pot.